Let's get down to business. Here is the plot summary for Take Me Back for Christmas. This, again, was one of 2 brand new movies we got for Christmas in July on Hallmark Channel this summer. A Christmas wish gives Renee the successful life she'd always dreamed of. This new reality is perfect except for one tiny thing. She is no longer married to her husband, Aaron. Now, Renee must race against the clock to win him back before Christmas Eve.
Before we start, Josh, did you know that the leads, Vanessa and Corey, were leads together in a different Hallmark movie?
I had no idea.
So 2020, they were in Heart of the Holidays, which was super confusing to me because I thought this was sort of a spin-off sequel situation, and it's not.
Noted.
So they must have had great chemistry. They wanted to work together again, and here we are. So we open, and there is more jolly in the first opening credits than the entirety of A Royal Christmas Crush. If you didn't listen to our review about that, go and take a gander, but don't watch the movie. Don't waste your time.
Someone is still a little bitter about that one, apparently.
I like my movies jolly. So at least we start off jolly with this one.
Exactly.
We see a chef in his classic buffalo plaid apron making googly eyes at his blonde wife. That is Aaron is the guy, Renee is the gal. They bond over bread whilst some sexy Santa song plays in the background.
I know.
I was like, okay, Hallmark. He wants to start a catering business, so he's the dreamer. She's the logical, level-headed gal who says they can't do it. They can't afford it because of a mountain of medical bills from her mom who has passed away, and they live in her mom's house. He asks her if she's happy for real, and they're both working themselves to death, and she doesn't really answer. She just kind of rushes off to work and avoids the conversation. She works at a gift shop, I guess. That's what that was.
Seemed like it. Yeah, it seemed like one of these sort of everything you could ever want for Christmas kind of shops. Lots of trinkets.
Yeah. Lots of gadgets and gizmos aplenty. So she gets there and her car beeps with an alert. Never a good sign. She huffs and puffs and walks inside. Her friend Tasha is in the store and encourages Renee to move back to New York. Then a mystery elf emerges and encourages Renee to take a bell so she can make a wish. Well, why not? Renee then talks to her boss about him retiring and her taking his place, because I guess she was under the impression that might be sort of the business plan here. And turns out he's not ready to retire and blows her off and says maybe next year. She's in a slump, and then she leaves work all just downtrodden, slips on some ice, gets aggravated, gets in her car, it stalls. She rings the bell and wishes for a different life, which seems a little excessive, but here we are. And it's giving It's a Wonderful Life feels. What did you think?
I thought that the opening of this movie was really great at sort of establishing these characters as people we could really get on board with, because I think all of us have been there where everything is just coming apart and you're really wondering, is this the right direction for my life? Because everything is just pointing to no. So I got on board with these characters and this plot pretty quickly. What about you?
Yes, they had a lot of depth. It was more than just, you're the big bad developer. And they actually there were stakes to it. There was history there. And I like that they're already a married couple too. They're an established couple. It's a little different than what we usually see here. It's not just the dating side of things, at least up until now. So
Sure.
She wakes up. No, it's time out. Snow falls outside and she falls asleep in her car with the windows up. And I said, girl, that's not safe. And then Renee wakes up and she has shorter hair and she's more gussied up, because we all know that the easiest way to tell that there has been a passage of time with a female character in one of these movies is to have a boldly different wardrobe and haircut. Turns out Renee is a hot shot in an office and she freaks out. And I LOL'd at the physical comedy here, because she's basically jumping up and down, waving her arms and slapping herself, trying to jar herself awake from this dream. But I guess she's not dreaming, but she kind of is. But she doesn't wake up. She's in this metaverse or alternate universe of her life. And she calls Aaron immediately at his number on her phone, and not Aaron answers. And then things are getting really weird. Curious music continues while we see framed photos of her on the cover of various magazines showing off her empire. And does any big shot office decorate this much for the holidays? Because they were decorated to the hilt. I mean, they wrapped lights around historic building arch top windows. It was a lot. I was here for it, but it was a lot.
They went all out, and I asked myself the same thing, but then I thought, this is Hallmark after all, and they need to remind us that it is the Christmas season, so of course.
Balsam Hill probably decorated that office.
Not sponsored by Balsam Hill yet.
But wish we were Balsam Hill. We know you're here. Call us. Okay. So we find out that this company is the world's fastest meal kit service called Maria's Meals, but Harvest Plate is the arch enemy, and they are trying to take over the market. Oh, no, Harvest Plate. Josh, have you ever enjoyed a meal kit service?
I have enjoyed a meal kit service once or twice. You know, I have been a sucker for those things that you get in the mail where it's like, try 12 meals for $7. And then all of a sudden you're doing a subscription thing. And it keeps coming and keeps coming and keeps coming. And then you're like, I cannot eat this much meal prep food for my life. So yes, been there, done that. Don't do it presently. What about you guys?
Unless somebody wants to sponsor us. No, we did HelloFresh early in our marriage, and I liked the food. And I liked that it made me cook more because I'm admittedly not a cook at all. But I didn't like how many different things I needed to do. Like, I turned around, and this might be user error. Every dish and utensil in my kitchen was filthy by the end of it. Like, there were so many steps, and they used all these different things. Like, I was mincing garlic and all, yada, 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 which isn't fancy, but it was fancy for me. And so at the end of it, it was just a lot to get like a small portion that was, you know, yay big. You couldn't even really make leftovers out of it.
True. But I mean, if Blue Apron happens to be listening and they want to sponsor the pod, we love meal kit service delivery.
We will throw in a Blue Apron right now. We are not above it. We are not too proud for it. Maybe we just haven't had the right meal kit service.
Could be.
You may need to edit out where I said the name of the other one.
Well, you know.
Insert generic food delivery service, meal kit service in there. Oh boy. All right. So Renee is supposed to have a plan in her metaverse, alternate universe, to boost the sales of Maria's Meals, and fumbles her way through excuses. She gets back in her office and turns around to see her mom. And I was like, oh, we're doing this.
We're doing this.
It's not huffy fluffy. No. So Renee is obviously so happy to see her mom that she grabs her and cries. And I almost do too. It was such an emotional scene. Her mom has come to home. Oh no, her mom has to go home to Maplewood, to the home where real Renee lives in, like in present day. And it's hard to say goodbye. She has a ton of texts with her mom and sees that she's kind of been canceling on her because she's a big city CEO. And that was a little cringy, and I felt bad for her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we do get this plot point around their relationship that maybe it's not a priority for Renee in this world. And I think that they wanted you to sort of feel that gut punch about that piece, because in her real life, she is so sad that her mom's gone. So
yeah, all the feels.
All of it.
Renee goes to Aaron's place in New York City where they used to live and finds a key under a planter, which seems wildly irresponsible. Like, come on, guys, let's get creative.
Yeah, seriously.
Renee walks around, eats a muffin, and is talking to her husband out loud like, oh, I can't believe this is the craziest day, blah, 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 blah. And then shirtless Aaron comes out of the bathroom with a towel on, and turns out they broke up in this universe a while back. So, boy, howdy, isn't he surprised to have her standing in his kitchen?
Yes, not necessarily excited at all to see her, because apparently the breakup was not friendly.
And it wasn't his idea either, I don't think. Or she pushed him to it.
Rather. Yeah.
So he is a chef and works at a restaurant and is a part owner. And he started there 5 years ago after they broke up. Then the weird elf from earlier in the movie, Cece, pulls up outside and serves as the Clarence to Renee's George Bailey, a la It's a Wonderful Life, and says, get in. And basically, you did this to yourself. You wanted a different life. And if you ring the bell, here we are. She did say, if you continue to ring the bell, Cece will come back and help her, but to use it sparingly. I guess Cece's probably got a busy route to keep in touch with all these bell ringers.
Literally, if they're just handing them out willy-nilly at Santa's little workshop, then of course she's got to bounce all over the place. Yeah. Alternate universes. Yeah.
I guess. So Renee goes to the local diner and finds Tasha, who of course doesn't know who she is. Renee word vomits on Tasha, and Tasha's very understanding, and they cheers to having it all. Then Renee crashes on her mom's couch and holds her and hugs her, which is very sweet. She chats with her mom and learns that she dumped Aaron and fills in some blanks on her new life. And she has the idea to do Christmas dinner boxes. And for every box purchased, a family in need will get a box. So it's kind of like Bombas socks.
Or Tom's. Yeah, I was going to say Tom's for meal kits. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Love the idea. Supportive. She wants to make them fresh. And how convenient, Aaron is a chef. Well, here we are. Back in Manhattan, Renee's place is a baller. I mean, I think I see a 60-inch paneled Sub-Zero refrigerator freezer combo, which currently has about at least a 12-month lead time. So order soon if you're interested in one of those puppies. Not that I would know. Her closet has a jewelry display island, and she has tray ceilings, gold, fur, all the bells and whistles. And of course, our queen, Renee, pulls out a red peacoat.
And looked $1 million in it, didn't she?
Yes, she did.
Yeah.
She sashays to Aaron's restaurant that is reminiscent of the Oak Steakhouse in Nashville and tells him about her business proposition. Everything Aaron sells at his restaurant comes from a local source that was purchased by a big bad developer, so he's hard up right now, and they work out a deal. She will help him get connected to new food suppliers, and he does the Christmas dinner boxes. They agree to work together professionally. But can they do it? We'll see.
We'll see.
Okay. Since Aaron owns his business, he doesn't have time for weekly hockey, so they go ice skating to kind of scratch that itch. And we learn that she got too busy with her business and ended their relationship, but they have a cute little skate date. She buys him a tacky Santa apron and a Santa hat to cook in for our cooking montage, and we see longing looks exchanged while he makes bread and potatoes.
Yeah, right? Yeah, I wrote, there's butter in Brussels, potato peeling, and flirty food tossing. It's surprisingly romantic.
It was romantic, but I wasn't overly impressed with the food.
No, it looked like anything I could make for dinner, but,
yeah, exactly.
Win some, lose some.
Right. At this point, I said, I'm really enjoying the soundtrack to this movie, and I literally never say that. It was just kind of upbeat and different versions of classic Christmas songs that I enjoyed.
Yeah.
After a night of romantic carb cooking, she goes in for the kiss and gets shot down.
Signal X.
Family Feud.
Yeah, very much so.
Answer.
Yeah.
Turns out Aaron might move back to Pittsburgh to live with his parents, who would sell his share of the business, so he doesn't really want to get attached. Whoopsie doodle.
Yeah.
Okay, we're moving on. So Renee rings the bell, and here comes Cece. Renee wishes for Aaron back, and Cece says nothing is guaranteed, so all we can do is appreciate the time we have with one another, and the rest is out of our control. Thanks, Cece. Appreciate it.
Very much the premise of this entire movie,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe I rang a bell and jumped the time dimension, but did we yada yada the completion and selling of the holiday meal kits?
I think so, yeah. It was like a key plot point, and I think we got some vague illusion that it was a big hit and a success and that sales were up so much so that they're able to now do the European expansion, which was the very exciting thing that we were waiting to see. Would Renee be able to pull off the European expansion?
So her business partner, Jerry, is very pushy to have her sign something about this European expansion. And she does. She's like, okay, fine, since my idea is such a success. Renee offers for Aaron to come to work for her, and she gets shot down again.
Yeah.
Wrong answer.
Yeah.
But he does agree to come to the holiday party, which they have on Christmas Eve for her office. What?
Who is doing that? I've got to ask, did you buy that he was so willing to be part of her story, but still not be romantically involved, and still doing the meal thing, but not going to kiss her, still going to go ice skating, but not going to do that? Like, did you buy that sort of back and forth for him?
I did. I think he cared about her so much that he was afraid of getting hurt again. So he was trying to keep her at arm's length. I don't think that it was he wasn't interested. I think he was interested the moment she broke into his apartment.
Well, yeah.
But I think he was just, his heart had been burned before by her in this universe.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Good point.
I can't blame him.
Yeah.
He's got to be a strong, independent male, which we never see.
Rarely. Yeah.
Underrepresented.
Minority. Yeah, exactly.
JK. Okay, so Renee stands up at this Christmas Eve annual holiday gala to give her speech, and for some reason she's surprised to see Aaron there, even though he said he would come. I don't know. The European expansion is a go, and Jerry says that she signed off on it, so she has to go with him. And Aaron showed up ready to work with her, but oopsie doodle, he overheard that she's going to Europe.
Sure.
But she says we can make it work long distance. And then on the street of New York City, he shoots her down again for the third time.
Yeah. I wrote, she's off to London for the big European expansion. Aaron isn't having it and totally jets. It's the same thing all over again from their previous hiccup in their relationship. He leaves and it's legitimately sad. Like, I was legitimately sad at this point.
It is, because we know Renee, and we know that she was going to try this time to make it work.
Yep.
Even though she has a short haircut, she still has a bigger heart than she used to.
She has a bigger heart than her haircut might lead you to believe.
So Aaron says it's too late, goodbye. I said, leaving her sassy haircut and fur coat alone in the street. So yes, we're on the same page. Back at Tasha's diner, they have a heart-to-heart over pie. Did Renee pay for that pie?
No. I think Tasha said it's on the house. Yeah.
Okay. Renee accepts her fate that she's stuck in this time dimension, but does ask Cece to send a message to real Aaron that she loves him. Cece is now wearing angelic white clothing.
Go figure.
Cece says that Renee is going home tonight at midnight, but then she'll lose her mom forever. And I wrote, no.
Yeah. We saw this coming.
My heart sank. Even though I knew it was coming, it did inflict a series of emotions in me that I was not prepared for watching this movie.
No, I hear you. And I think it was one of those where she didn't realize what it was going to mean to go back to the life and get her husband back, that in so doing, she was then going to have to say goodbye to her mom all over again, which is just heavy. But it could have really, I think, gone way heavier than it does. I thought was very appropriately heavy, but not so much so that it sort of ruined the entire thing.
Yes. So Renee gets a chance to say goodbye to her mom before her mom goes on her trip. And she tells her, I wish we had more time. And they have one of, if not the most beautiful scenes ever in a Hallmark movie for me. It's the perfect way to say goodbye to a parent. And Renee promises to picture her mom sailing with George Clooney as her mom requested.
Because her mom was going to go off to Asia for a big trip. Yeah, very much so. And all of this whole thing. And I think you're absolutely right. Of all the movies we've watched, I feel like this scene with her and her mom on the couch just together is probably one of the most tender scenes I think I've ever seen in one of these. And I literally bawled because it was that good.
I was beside myself sobbing. I was ugly crying. I mean, and I will tear up like 5 more minutes. I will tear up. I'll have like the one, tear roll down the face. But this was uncontrollable for me. This
was like that, when that inner thing happens in here and you're like shaking. That was it for me.
Go watch the YouTube video. Podcast listeners, Josh is rubbing his chest vigorously. Yeah, it was perfect. So Renee wakes up in her original bed, home wig with long hair, and finds bread on the table with a note, and it says, I think I got the rise right on the bread from husband Aaron. She rushes off to the store to see Tasha. Renee puts in her notice to quit the gift shop. She jumps on Aaron when he gets home, and she gives him an application to a culinary institute. I can't talk. So they can sell mom's house and follow their dreams. How did her car get fixed and get back home?
Unclear. Cece?
Well, I guess Cece's also a mechanic before she put her angelic. That's why she had to have a wardrobe change. She got oil and whatnot on the other outfits.
Exactly.
She had to have pure white. Okay, time for our gold or coal segment where we each give 3 gifts. If there's more gold, it's time well spent. And if there's more coal, it's a waste of time. And if it's tie, it's just a Merry Christmas. Josh, I'm coming to you first.
Right. So I'm giving gold out of the gate to Vanessa, the lead actress who played Renee here. This role could have been really, really wacky, and it could have been really mishandled by someone who didn't bring the heart and the humor that I think Renee should have had, and Vanessa was able to deliver. I thought that she nailed it 100%. for a situation that was completely unbelievable, she actually, I think, made it a little believable. And I enjoyed watching her in the role.
Same. I have some gold for the scene of her and her mom. I know we already talked about it. It just had all the emotions, all the feelings, and it was really, really well done. And kind of like you said, with her whole performance, it could have been over the top cheesy and gushy, and it wasn't that. It was just perfectly handled. They walked that line well.
More gold for me here. I really liked that the plot of this movie was about way more than winning back her husband. So the plot summary was all about, will she get her husband back, and this and the other. But to get to that point, this character really had to grow, and she had to say goodbye to things that were holding her back. And she had to literally learn how to step into gratitude for the things that she did have, right? And let go these things that she didn't. And I liked that there was that layer and that depth to what was happening, more than just, will she, won't she get her husband back? You know, I thought that was great.
Agreed. I'm going to give some gold to Tasha. I thought she was a good best friend, even when they re-met again in the alternate universe. I thought she wasn't too zany and too slapstick. Like, she was a very good listener, very encouraging, and actually like what a real friend should be in the real world. So I enjoyed seeing her, even though I think she had to pay for too much pie for Renee.
Seriously, Renee's a hotshot CEO and Tasha works at a diner. I mean, there's a bit of a pay gap
Flip
there.
For some money for some pie. Yeah,
come on. I'm going to give a slight piece of coal here. I had to wonder, is this really a Christmas movie? Because aside from it taking place at Christmas, there's really no stake in Christmas. It just sort of is, yeah, she runs into Santa and there's this magical elf, but aside from that, there's really just not any kind of Christmas.
Well, there's the holiday meal kits.
Yeah, but I mean, by the same token, it could have been a 4th of July at-home barbecue meal kit. You know, I mean, didn't have to be Christmas.
But did you hear what you said? Other than Santa and the magical elf, that's a pretty big deal.
Okay.
A bell that takes her to an alternate universe.
Point taken.
But I hear you. And maybe that's why they put it at Christmas in July. It could have happened at any time.
Yeah.
For the most part, other than Santa and the magical elf.
For sure.
Bill.
For sure. Yeah.
Okay. I have all gold on this one. My last piece of gold is it's the perfect blend of heart and laughter and sweetness and Christmas jollies. And if there's like a pie chart or one of those, what is it? The charts where they overlap.
A Venn diagram.
Venn diagram. Thank you. I'm just like making weird circles with my hands. Yes, I thought it was all of the feelings that I want in a Christmas or whatever Hallmark movie. And I really enjoyed it. My expectations were low because I did not enjoy the first Christmas in July movie offering. And the previews for this one were a little, I don't know about this, but it so surpassed my expectations and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, and they actually spent some money to produce this too. This was well budgeted and it felt way more developed than the Royal Christmas one we watched last time. Yeah. Anyway, so final score, 5 gold, 1 coal. We're going to call it time well spent, Jennifer.
Woohoo! Yeah, I thought this was really solid. I enjoyed it. I don't know if I'll ever watch it again because it is so heavy. Like, you would have to be in the mood for a good cry, like a release to me for that. But it's not because it wasn't a good movie. I really enjoyed it.
Same here. And that, friends, is another episode of Do You Watch What I Watch?
Special thanks to Nick Schwartz for our theme song, and of course, to you for listening.
Hey, if you like our podcast, be sure to review, subscribe, and tell a friend. We're also on Facebook and Instagram, so give us a follow, leave a comment, connect with us across all of our social media channels, and subscribe on YouTube. That way you get first notification of when our new episodes will drop. You can find links to everything you need. On X. Yeah, whatever we're calling Twitter.
We're on X, but we don't really do it. We don't really utilize it very well.
Oh, gosh, yeah. You can find links to everything, including X, on our website at doyouwatchwhatiwatch.com.
Guess I need to update the website for that. It still has an outdated bird logo on there. Oh boy. So on our next episode, we are revisiting a 2022 Hallmark debut as we recap and review Haul Out the Holly, which we've just learned will be getting a sequel this year. Hoo-hoo. So you can bet we'll have a lot to discuss. And until then,
may your days be merry and bright. We'll see you next time.